How you doing, Tom?
Well, obviously, I'm frustrated as hell. And the thing is that I came here today to have you people entertain me, and now I'm doing this shit, and you're entertaining you. I don't want to do that.
Well, sadly, all that happened off air. But we will do the entertaining on air.
I would appreciate that.
Yes,
it's on you, Kevin. I'm going to put it all on Kevin.
He's not heavy. He's my brother, I think, is what Kevin's going to reply with. Kevin, you still there? Is he frozen?
Maybe he just went straight to from my thing. He's straight onto his profile pic.
Oh, okay. Because on mine, I don't see a profile pic. I see a frozen Kevin Logan.
Yeah.
And I don't hear him.
So this is traditional for, at least it used to be very traditional.
This is very old school, yeah. For some reason, Google Hangouts, it doesn't seem to, like, he was fine before. Oh, Kevin, you back? Oh, there he is again.
There's two of him.
There's two of you, and you're muted.
It's Gemini.
I'm not muted. How dare you?
But
you can't mute me.
Can't stop the signal. All right, hail.
Stop the evolution.
The gang's all here. So we're gonna start with the monthly hangout, and in the spirit of not drifting toward Corona-related questions, Matthew.
Hey, Matthew.
Hey.
Hi, Matthew.
Just in time. We're about to start. All my links are working.
Oh shit!
Who was that?
What?
Fuck!
It's
fuck.
late.
Are you okay?
Dropped shit all over the fucking floor again.
Oh,
God
no.
I've just... no, it's all right.
What do you have against Matthew? He's a nice guy. Oh, Jesus.
I've got to do a close-up of my face so that everyone...
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Is this live?
Yes, it is. This nonsense is happening
More or less, yeah.
Leith, I had no idea. You're a very striking man.
I am a very striking man. I'm also a very young man, and I haven't groomed myself in ages because I can't find a fucking pair of hair clippers in the entirety of York.
Oh, so what food went everywhere?
No, it was my coffee.
Oh, even worse.
And a load of biscuits.
Oh no! What kind of biscuits? I'm going to judge you now.
So, you know chocolate digestives?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, these are chocolate chip digestives that are also chocolate.
Get out,
these.
Pervert.
You call me a pervert, man. I live my life. I'm happy. I'm good with what I do.
Hey, no judgment here.
I'm drinking what's left of my little alpaca cup. I'm good.
And are these the famous McTitties that we spoof?
Oh, fuck no.
Okay.
Who the hell wants to spend money on that? If you want to be a true hipster such as myself, you get Sainsbury's own for 30p.
There you go. Yes. There you go. I remember those cheap ass biscuits.
Is that the,
sawdust? Yeah.
Yeah. It's the kind of one where you've got to go through it and hold, like Tom. They come in like great big long things rather than them being quite short. They come in like sets of 40, and they come in like great big crates, and you have to literally like reach in and see which one is the least broken and take that one because everything is like completely busted.
Pretty much. All right.
Although I would think that you'd be able to do some kind of pie crust if you had a lot of broken ones. Just crush them up and use them as pie crust.
That's what I was thinking.
Chocolate chip biscuit pie crust.
That's so American. That is so American.
Well, I am American. I'm Midwestern.
I know. But just like, I've got a better idea than pie crust. We'll do chocolate chips in the pie crust in our chocolate double chocolate cake with chocolate frosting and chocolate, a side of chocolate.
You forgot the last chocolate.
The hot chocolate to drink it with?
Yeah. Well, no, to mix in.
Well, the only thing that would make it...
Instead of milk, you use hot.
The only thing that would make it more American is if you invaded chocolate chipistan.
Well, where do you think we liberated the chocolate chips from.
Yeah, we don't buy them.
The great chocolate chip fields of chocolate Chipistan.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sadly, they set fire to them 3 days after you invaded, and since then it's been a sinking market. Sadly.
And now with he who shall not be named as the president, we have landmines again. So the chocolate chip fields are going to be dangerous to work for decades after we leave ignominiously in victory.
Well, I'm gonna change it very suddenly to bring in Matthew, because it looks like Matthew owns a set of clippers. I think. We've been talking about self haircutting here. We've got two no's.
I haven't had a haircut since February, I think, before the show season started.
How closely shaved did you have your hair in February? In the middle of the winter?
I always get a number 2, so that's pretty short.
Wow.
Number 2.
Well, I have to say, it's grown out very, very stylishly. Like some haircuts, like when they cut it, it looks bad very quickly. But yours, top notch. So I'm the only one who's like doing self haircuts at home. Is that, Tom? Are you doing it?
So far.
Okay.
I actually, I don't know if you can tell, but I did shave.
Did you shave off the bottom and you just have a mustache now?
Yeah, just a mustache, but I haven't shaved in about a week, so my stubble is pretty thick. I have a 5 o'clock shadow. Well, like from
3 days ago.
Yeah. Well, a week ago it would have been 5 o'clock shadow. Now it's just
a week old 5 o'clock shadow.
Yeah. Well, in order to wear a mask properly, you can't have a beard. Or
right.
certain mustaches. There's actually a chart of different facial hairstyles that will work and that won't work with the N95 masks.
Oh, so we don't have N95 masks. We just have handkerchiefs with like rubber bands around the ears.
That's what I have too. But I found several years, like maybe 10 or 15 years ago, I was going to do some flint napping. And when you do flint napping, the stone powders, part of the stone powders, and you can get silicosis if you don't have a mask on. So I got a couple of N95 masks for that I forgot about. And in going through my stuff about a month and a half ago, I found them. So I have 2 N95 masks.
But the thing about a flint napping story is that you really got to get to the point. You got to get to the point.
Not really. I think it's more important to be edgy.
Nice.
Otherwise I'm drawing a blank.
Well, ironically, that joke has made me rock hard. So.
He'll do this all day, Tom. He'll do it all day.
For days.
All right, are we ready to do some trivia?
Well, before that,
just
as an aside, this might be of interest to the group. It's certainly of interest to me. Paul Joseph Watson is trending number 1 on Twitter in the UK at the moment.
Yes, why is that?
Now, unfortunately, it isn't for the reason that some people do trend occasionally. I won't go any further. But I suppose
you mean like Boris Johnson trended for a while?
Yeah.
How do I screenshot? I haven't done.
I have to. Actually, I've been screen sharing, so I have to stop. And then if you go to the 3 dots in the upper right.
There we go.
Yeah.
Do you remember the fucking Google Hangout days? Crazy stuff.
Yeah.
Anyway, he had a little.
Sorry, I found out why Paul Joseph Watson's trending.
Yeah.
Sorry.
It's because he had a little go at Piers Morgan, who's also a prick, and then Piers Morgan blocked him. And
now he's having a massive bitch fit.
He's having quite a meltdown. But then doing the typical thing of saying, well, I'm trending now, and it's not because I'm having a meltdown. I'm not triggered, honest. It's really funny. So just take you through a few of these, as we do. It says here, totally not triggered in any way whatsoever. Paul Joseph Watson says, cowardly little bitch. Afraid of the fact I'm more popular and definitely more attractive than you. Mercenary twat. Debate me. He literally says debate me.
Yes.
Debate me, you yellow-bellied, crusty boomer sellout fraud cuck wanker dickhead.
Dickhead. How do I get that made into a t-shirt?
Yeah, that has to be. I mean, it's genius. It's absolutely genius.
Holy shit. So,
the
debate me
tip
is
of the
still a
iceberg.
thing?
No.
He continues.
Oh.
I know you actually envy me. Of course he does, yeah. But Piers Morgan, the man who edited a national newspaper,
Yeah,
he really envies fucking Alex Jones's little bitch. Yeah.
Piers
definitely.
Morgan, the man who appears most mornings on television and is seen by millions. Yeah, great idea, man.
Yeah, definitely. But what he wants is to take a paycheck from Alex Jones.
Yeah, that's what his dream in life.
Yeah. And that's not to say Piers Morgan deserves his platform, but he has one.
Yes.
Unlike Paul. He says, I know that you actually envy me because you're a pathetic, inauthentic little bitch. That's the second time he's called him a bitch.
Yeah.
Not triggered. And I'm significantly younger and more handsome and more intelligent than you. Why did you block me before sending this tweet, pussy? Did I rattle your world, you fraudulent, cowardly tosser?
Let me drink the tears. Can I go back for a second?
Straight into my fucking veins. My blood system needs this.
Oh, there's another one. Does this go on?
This goes on.
There's about half a dozen. I'll only take you through the four here, the four that this person's highlighted, but there's loads. It's amazing. You're such a fucking fraud that even when you're trying to insult me, you're scared of tweeting the word fuck. Once again, this proves that you're an inauthentic little tosspot who is significantly older and uglier than me. Does Paul know what he looks like?
I think he's in denial.
I'm not sure. You virtue signalling sellout mainstream media knob without a K.
Whoa.
That's well done, Paul.
Yeah, Paul was not signaling his.
I bet you anything he was running up against the word limit at that point, so he had to cut something.
This is amazing. Imagine how up your own arse you have to be to write a sentence like this. Seriously, about yourself. Piers Morgan fears me and my spirit animal, which is a hardcore bastard.
What is that? What is that bird?
I don't know, but I feel sorry for it being associated with Paul Joseph Watson.
It looks like a duck with an eagle.
My spirit animal, which is a hardcore bastard.
You see, this is clearly the hardcore bastard mallard. And in fact, Paul Joseph Watson hasn't thought that this was a very good thing. It's a hardcore bastard.
Nice.
Yeah. So that's Paul. But then
goes on.
He goes, people think I got offended by Paul Piers Morgan. No, he's a fraudulent, cringy, sellout twat.
He just did
that you want
6
to
tweets.
debate you.
So yeah, exactly. He literally says debate me. Like,
who does that anymore?
Yeah. Not just that, but in the tweet he says I didn't get offended, and then calls him a fraudulent, sellout, cringe twat and an intellectual fucking coward. Not offended. He's not offended.
Yeah. Well, I know one person who says that. I don't know. Do you know Travis Pangburn?
Sorry?
Travis Pangburn. Does
he do satire videos?
No.
Oh,
He does sort of cheerleading for the intellectual dark web.
Oh God.
He plays what's that name? The Canadian professor guy that I forgot already.
Peterson
debates. Peterson and Matt Dillahunty and debate and some other things like that. And he has I somehow subbed to him a long time ago, and I keep doing it because it's funny. And he has about every day or 2 or 3, he has a thing that says "debate me," and I thought that was funny because it was like, God, are these guys living in the past?
Yeah,
the glory years. Yeah, 2015, pretty much.
So Paul Joseph Watson has actually now put out an official hit piece, I guess you could say, about Piers Morgan. And as a result, it's going to go up tomorrow. And if there's no apology, that's Piers Morgan's hopes of becoming ruler of Britain. Rule of the prime ministership will be gone from his hands one day.
It's like Rupert Murdoch and Paul Joseph Watson. They're basically the media.
They're the kingmakers of the bloody world, them.
Well, I don't know how he's going to handle a hit piece from a man who's significantly younger and more handsome. I don't know how he's going to do it.
Yeah.
Oh, don't forget more intelligent.
More
It's
intelligent
very
as well.
clear.
Yeah.
It's very clear here.
As a spirit bird, the spirit duck.
A spirit duck. Yeah.
I've passed schools that were more intelligent than Paul Joseph Watson.
Yeah,
So I don't know what that says about Piers Morgan, really.
Oh, okay. I live next to a bar, so my idea of passing a stool is walking down the line of idiots at the bar.
There's two ways.
Okay, how do I say it in American, Christy? Translate for me.
Shit.
Do a poo.
Yeah.
Do a poop. We don't say
Do
poo.
a poo.
Do a poop.
I went
Do a
plopsy.
poo. That's American. No, that's not American. God, you've been away too long, Christy.
No, poo is definitely Britishism. Go for a crap. Let's see. Go to the John.
Go
Take a dump.
Take a crap. God.
Take a dump.
Take a dump. Take a crap.
Why is
Take
it
a
always
shit.
taking it, not leaving it? People have asked me this. I don't have a good answer.
That actually, I think that was who was that? Carlin talked about that at one point. Why do we say take a shit, not
Yes.
leave a shit?
It's a good
you're
question.
actually leaving a shit, or ideally, unless, well, less said about what I was going to say next, the better.
It's a very good linguistic point. Like, why do we take it and not leave it? But there's a really good German comedian who talked about how confusing the word ass was for him, because when you add the word ass to the end of the word, it changes the word. Like, let's say you're a dumb ass. That just means you're dumb, but like more with ass, But if it's like a fine piece of ass, that's a good thing. And so there's always like a grown ass man who's just a man who's grown up, So it's very subtle to know how to use the word ass. Like badass, it's a good ass actually. It's not bad at all. It's good. So it's English is a dumb language, I think. All right. Hey, speaking of dumb, should we get on to the? Oh my gosh, there are actually people in the chat who showed up for this. I don't know why. But we're gonna get on to the quiz. If you guys unless anyone else has anything exciting they want to talk about.
Glasgow Kiss is trending on UK again for some reason.
What is Glasgow Kiss?
Glasgow Kiss is a headbutt.
Yes.
It's also a version of the one they're talking about is a Glasgow Kiss, because there's this viral bit where this idiot was basically not obeying social distancing stuff and was really trying to just hound on this poor lady. So a guy from a Morrison's just walked up to him and nutted him straight in the face, just like headbutted him head on. And the guy was just kind of like, yeah, fair dues, man. I deserved that. And then he just sat down. And it's kind of gone on from that. There's other things as well. Lawrence Fox has lost his lovely girlfriend because she's smart.
Because she's smart. That's probably the best explanation.
I was going to talk about this on the next happy hour, Yeah, she didn't like the fact that he's like a racist dick, because she's a mixed race person herself as well. And I believe she's the sister or cousin or something of Richard Ayoade, the guy from the IT Crowd. If you're aware of that show. Anyway, and he was like, he was trying to be like, I'm not racist, I'm friends with Richard Ayoade. And he was like, nah,
not mate.
Really, no, bro. Although in a kind of weird posh accent, because that's how he talks. Anyway, so that was fun.
Well, I guess being a racist does have consequences.
Yeah,
good.
People don't like it, which is nice. That's a sea change from when I was a kid.
Yeah. So that's good news. Thanks for the update on that. Schadenfreude. Woohoo.
Yeah. Just a quick update. Paul Joseph Watson has officially gone nuclear. He has gone nuclear.
Is he still tweeting about this?
Chernobyl.
Yeah, this is like it seems to be in medias res kind of stuff.
Oh gosh, should we go to Twitter and just check his account?
If you want to.
Is it worth it?
No, not particularly. This is a waste of time for everyone concerned.
This trivia game has been preempted by Paul Joseph Watson's Meltdown. So.
But he's going to do a hit piece, Christy, so it'll be fine. Yeah, absolutely fine.
Watson is a brilliant polemicist, the Spectre. Great.
Yeah.
Spectator, I should say. Spectator.
And the Spectator was the same magazine that was printing stuff about how we should just let old people die.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're on good.
So
the only thing I can particularly be happy about is like the Spectator's not doing as bad as the others, but like the Mirror, the Mail, the Sun has just died a death. And I'm so happy. Why the fuck does Paul Joseph Watson look like he just is dead? Why does he look so like black-eyed and empty inside?
He looks like a dark elf.
There's something wrong with him.
Like there's something about I just want to compare this picture here. If you look at the picture he's got out, right?
It's called vitamin D deficiency.
He's stuck inside.
It's like in the vampire, yes, he just doesn't get sunlight. But you can see there's some salt and pepper here in his beard. He's getting on in age, you know, like, and we all do. It happens. He's also got this sort of really deep worry line here, and he's got creases. I'm not doing this to be vain. I'm doing this to make a point, right? So you can see his age, like life he's lived. The signs of life are on his face. All right. Now compare this.
He's existed. That's
he's
true.
existed. All right. But just look at the picture that he put up here, right? This is a recent one. Now look at his most recent tweet from like 10 minutes ago. And the picture he uses there. So the main reason I'm trending on Twitter is because everyone is finally acknowledging how handsome I am. This picture has got to be at least 15 years old.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. There's no way that that's a recent picture. There's no lines in it. No. There's no gray.
Yeah. That was back when that was back before he started pushing all kinds of lizard people running the planet shit.
And infomercial products.
Well, maybe it's like the picture of Dorian Gray, but with conspiracy nonsense, and he finally destroyed the picture, and the age is now showing.
Sorry, someone's gonna have headphones in, Kevin. I can hear myself laughing, and you're down the hallway of your house, I think.
No, well, I'm not in a hallway, so that doesn't make any sense.
Is the door open though to your hallway?
No, I have the door closed because my cat is a prick.
Okay, this is a great tweet. Sorry, I know we should get onto the quiz, but this is too good. So I'm trending, and everyone thinks I got offended by Piers Morgan blocking me.
Do you want to scroll down slightly, just to the next one?
I'm in the middle of reading the first one, so
no. Well, you will definitely want to read the next one.
Just read the next one along. Kev needs to have his ego stroked.
I love my mum. Oh, it's Kev. Right, that's why you interrupted me in the middle of reading out a tweet because you noticed your name.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, look at that! You got promoted by Paul Joseph Watson.
Yeah.
All right.
I think it's a fair question.
Just so it's well, is his mom? I guess that you're right. That's the question. Is his mom one or not? Okay, can I finish the tweet now? Anything else? Oh. Okay. So I'm trending, writes Paul Joseph Watson, and everyone thinks I got offended by Piers Morgan blocking me. No, I called him a fraudulent sellout cringe twat, and he blocked me. I have not blocked him because I'm not an intellectual fucking coward. Paul Joseph Watson. Like,
debate me, and I want to debate the fraudulent sellout cringe twat.
And then he adds, also, I'm clearly younger and more handsome. He keeps going on about the fact that there's an age difference, which no one has control over. You can't flex on age.
Yeah. And not just that, but I like the idea that he's saying I'm not an intellectual coward, even though we know from the transcripts that of the court testimony, in his own words, he knew that Alex Jones pushing the Sandy Hook conspiracy theories was wrong. And yet still continue to work with him. As if he wasn't like an absolute fraud.
Well, he doesn't have all the courage.
This is great. Sorry. This is from Andrew. For those wondering what a Paul Joseph Watson is, it's like a Katie Hopkins, but with a smaller penis.
Fair point. Fair point, well made.
Yes, and she is a dick. The whole person of Katie
Why does he
Hopkins.
have Battersea Power Station as his thing? That's so strange.
No idea.
Anyway.
Okay, so, all right, does anyone else want to chime in on that before we move on?
No, thanks.
Okay. All right.
I didn't care about Watson to begin with, and I've done as much as I need to with
Laughing at him for the day.
Superannuated stupidity.
All right. So I found this. These are general knowledge questions where we basically there's not enough Jimmy Carr to go around. He only puts out like one video a day, and when we do 3 of them at a time, it gets through pretty quick. So I found another channel that has trivia questions. I thought we'd have a go. It's also on 2 times speed because it goes fast, but I can pause this. In which country is Machu Picchu located?
Are we supposed to just yell out?
Oh,
It's
no!
Peru.
Okay,
It's
yeah.
Peru.
Okay, I didn't realize that there's a timer and then it ended. I didn't watch the full video. I just watched the first question. Okay,
Yeah,
now we know how it works.
It's late Incan.
Yes. All right. Tom gets the... Oh, look at this. It's one of... All right. Next question. What is the name of a group of porcupines, everybody?
A parliament.
Is it a prickle, a gang, or a troop? It's a parliament of porcupines.
Let's do prickle because
A murder.
That's crows, I think.
It's crows.
But thanks for playing.
A stab.
Flange.
A flange?
That's actually that's a thing. There's a fantastic scene from a show called Not the 9 O'Clock News in the 1980s with Rowan Atkinson playing a baboon who has been taught how to speak as a human next to the now late Mel Smith as the captor, the kind of civilizer. And it's so funny. It's a brilliant thing. And he refers to the collective noun for baboons as a flange of baboons, which it's not. I can't remember what the actual phrase is, but that became so popular that that's now actually also an alternative that can be scientifically used as a flange of baboons.
Nice.
And it's still one of my favourite lines from comedy ever when he goes on about when we caught Gerald, he was wild. Wild? I was absolutely livid. It's brilliant.
I'm going for prickle because that would be funny.
I agree.
I'm going for gang because I only understand groups in terms of gangs.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll go gang.
All right. A hardcore. I don't know. I'm kind of leaning toward prickle, but that seems like
Yeah, that seems like a fake out, but
yeah.
I still like it.
And yeah, that's fine. I think I'm going to go for a troop. I'm just going to be contrarian here.
Just so one of us gets it.
Yes. I don't know if you want me to bring in the chat on this. There are people in the chat. Oh, it is a prickle. Look at that.
All right.
Whew. I think, yeah, there's space for the chat, so I can pull that out. Normally, our banner would go there for the show, but we don't need the show banner today. I'm recycling the happy hour window. That's what I'm doing for this show. All right. Apparently, raccoons are a gang, someone says.
Portion.
I don't know if that's true or not. They could be lying to us. We have no way to check. We only have the internet at our fingertips.
It's a stealth. It's a stealth of raccoons.
A stealth of raccoons? Okay.
Yeah.
All right, question
My
3.
favorite one is a scream of octopuses.
I want it to be a flan of baboons because of raccoons. Because no. I wanted a flan.
You're arguing with yourself now.
See, this is a Wisconsin thing, Kevin. It's not just me.
Yeah.
I do this occasionally as well.
No, I want a nice custardy pudding made of baboons because that would be tasty. And baboons, I don't think are endangered, so I don't think that would be a big problem.
Wow, Tom busted out the very random eating animals we don't normally eat humor. That's edgy.
Well, you don't normally eat.
That's true. Laith, were you going to say something on that?
I have nothing to say to that except You are a savage, and I think
Fair
that
enough.
like this is horrific.
Yes, well, I'm in the wilds of Wisconsin, so
There's a lot
We
of
have
baboon
the true
delicacies.
wilds of Wisconsin.
Other than the wilds, is there a major urban conurbations of Wisconsin at all?
there's one, Milwaukee.
Well, I said major. To be fair, come on now.
All right. So, which
Can I just
We have a
point out?
baseball team. Do you have a baseball team?
Do I have a
Yeah,
baseball?
Birmingham?
Yeah, I have 3 down the back of my sofa, alone. So
Yeah, I like
Although
trading
one of
them,
is the
man.
Cincinnati Reds, so I'm not sure that counts. Anyway, yes, Paul Joseph Watson retweeted
See.
as we saw, and I've just had to block at least 2 accounts with Pepe avatars.
Oh, that is. Oh my God.
Unsurprising.
Well, it surprises me because who the fuck does Pepe anymore?
I mean,
Well,
besides
if you're following Paul Joseph Watson,
clearly
those people,
Well, he thinks debate me is a clever comeback, so apparently, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay. I think
he's just scared of me because I'm younger and more attractive. Clearly.
Would you describe yourself as more handsome or beautiful?
Bootylicious is the phrase I would use.
Yes, but is that on the field of handsome or beautiful? Because those, as we know, are parallel lines. They don't intersect.
Right, just like there is only 2 genders. Someone can't be beautiful and handsome. Right? This is the logic?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, this is absolutely true.
This is biological
Yes,
fact.
This is the way. Yes, there is only handsome and
everything is binary.
Bootylicious is one of those like colors that don't exist unless it's on a color wheel. It's the theoretical intersecting point between beautiful and fucking handsome.
And then
I think it was Socrates who talked about the perfect handsomeness, and I think bootylicious was his phrase initially.
Well, and you know who basically occupies that overlap of handsome and beautiful, and that is Beyonce. So, she is bootylicious.
I was going to say Matthew because of his lovely hair.
Yeah, I'd rate.
I'll go without you.
Matthew, let's see that bootylicious hair. Your voice is like chocolate in my ear. Woo.
Oh, thank you.
You do audio. Oh, and then you get a little bit of breathing ASMR as well for free. Okay.
I'm trying not to do that because that annoys audio engineers.
No, I take out as much of my breathing as I can when I audit myself. All right, so should we try to do the quiz, which is basically just doing things until Paul Joseph Watson tweets something that Kevin notices?
7.
Passive
Well, it depends.
aggression.
Question: is it a consistent base 10?
I don't know.
Christy, why did you invite me on if you didn't want me interrupting with pointless nonsense?
I just think everyone should tweet at
Did you
Paul.
think you were going to get something useful out of me?
I was thinking.
I never expect that. So,
I think everyone should just tweet at Paul Joseph Watson that they are all individually more beautiful and younger, whatever they look like and however old they are. Just like, but I'm younger than you and I'm better looking, so I win. Like, just for the next 6 months. If he's going to pull that, I think that's what.
Well, he's so old, I'm not sure he's going to survive 6 months, to be honest.
But he's so much younger than Piers Morgan. Anyway,
Piers Morgan's been dead for 7 months. So.
Oh, right. Okay. Well, then he stopped aging, hasn't he? So eventually Paul's going to catch up to him. Anyway, which of the following is the lowest prime number? Question 3. This feels...
7.
Lowest of that set or the lowest of all?
It obviously has to be the set because they don't have the lowest prime number there.
Right.
Or at least...
And also, you'd probably wind up having like schisms within this group, another fractured left, because I would then shout 1, and then somebody would be like, 1 isn't a prime number,
None isn't prime.
and then I would do the Punic chords on them.
I would be that pedantic person.
You asshole! How dare you? I thought we were friends.
Wait, what? 1 isn't 3 is the lowest prime?
2.
2.
7.1.
According to the fucking Philistines, 1 is clearly the lowest. And then there's the wrong people who think 0 is the lowest.
0 has a lot of interesting, weird properties.
Yes.
I didn't realize Prime was such a controversial topic. I feel like I've stumbled into a debate about Pluto.
Yeah. People have died over Prime.
Pluto is not a prime number.
Oh, okay, I think we can all agree on that.
It's not, but it's a planet though.
Is it? I heard was it back to a planet? But it's
the oid part of the planet.
A planetoid.
Go ahead.
It's the oid. All right, so
I'll sit here quietly. No,
we're saying 7, right?
I'm saying
it's obviously
7.
7. Yeah, I think we all know. This is not quite as challenging. It's certainly not as random as Jimmy Carr's continual questions about Oliver Twist and Home Alone and Groundhog Day.
Oh, Jesus.
We haven't had a Groundhog Day question or a Bee Gees question or
nothing.
a Fargo question. I'm disappointed.
I have to say, is this trivia question for people in grade school? Because this is, I mean, they need to up the game a bit more.
This is
not.
It's general knowledge.
Okay.
Like,
I guess we're going to have to go into specialist knowledge after this one. Because it's a little too general. I feel like this is a family-friendly version. This is when you play with the kids and you're like, oh my gosh, you got it right. I didn't know that. I totally know that and I'm lying to your face, kid, but you can't tell. All right, so...
but this is keeping you quiet, and so I'm thinking about that. For adoption.
I have to know, how do you treat children, Christy? Because legit, whenever I have a trivia night with my family and stuff like that, it's pandemonium. We're all screaming at each other, saying which is the lowest prime number, and then at the end of it, whoever wins gets like knifed in the back garden. You know, it does get bad.
I can just picture you guys
we're
like
not nice to each other. Oh, congratulations!
What do you like? Arm wrestle for who's
so
right?
well.
All right, I know I'm right. No, you're right. Arm wrestle you for it.
I think though,
right?
aren't American families sort of pleasant to one another sometimes? Occasionally.
Before the really things get brewing at, all the alcohol gets pouring at Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
And when at Christmas, because you got lots of presents. Again, if you don't hang around too long. But,
yeah, but in Britain we don't have that. Like our families are, well, it's at best
cruel.
It's frankly.
So what you go home to get humiliated and to try to get a few digs in before New Year?
Yeah, you think how many people can I irrevocably destroy the relationship with?
Between now and New Year.
Yeah.
All of them again.
Yeah.
Oh, good. Yeah.
So anyone want to share any stories of holiday memories?
I want to play the quiz because I'm finding this challenging. I think it's American because American is it's got to be part of everything internet.
Such is the case. America is America, and America is the center of the universe. Isn't that right?
It's essential.
Strange people.
Yeah, it's the center of everything.
I mean, less and less
holiday stories. Can I just relay one for you?
No.
I was son of a carpenter growing up in Palestine, and the Romans nailed me to a piece of wood. About 2,000 years ago, if I recall.
Isn't that ironic?
Crazy.
You're a son of a car. Did your dad make the cross?
Yeah, it had fantastic hinges. So.
Hinges?
Do the crosses have hinges? I don't know.
At the bottom, yeah, you put the reusable ones have hinges at the bottom, and a little lock, locks hook on the other side. When you're done, you just unhook the hook and bend it back, and you're on the hinges, and you take them down.
Well, I didn't think I'd say this, but Tom, if I ever need crucifixion advice, I'm coming to you.
They're the reusable ones.
Yeah.
Initially, they were disposable. Sure. Then they just realized it was more efficient instead of having to have them all done new. They just had a hinge. Could bring them down, pop them back up, bring them down, pop them back up.
Well, the Romans were nothing if not efficient.
Yes.
So I don't know why they wouldn't have done it the easy way.
All right, so we're going to go with the A and... What does the A in NATO stand for?
American.
Penis.
Astronaut.
Penis, great. All right, so no one's taking... So who can give the best, worst answer?
Authority.
Yes, authority. That would be very
Aneurysm.
Trumpian.
Aneurysm. There we go. Is it?
Anal beads.
I'd like to know what the rest of the acronym is if the A is anal beads.
Nutritious anal beads of totalitarian orthodontics?
Well, that would be an acronym.
No, totalitarian
orthodontics
or official.
Or official. I don't even think I
Yes.
know what that is. Is that a made-up word? Is that
It's
a real
not a
word?
word. I made it up.
Oh,
It's
okay.
Orifice and official.
So it's your official orifice.
Yes.
I think Kevin has one of those.
Oh.
Your mouth. It's your orificial. Okay. Who preceded Kim Jong-un as supreme leader of North Korea?
There are two right answers. Well, no, there's one right answer. One is okay. There's one right answer. I'm sorry.
I'm trying to remember the sequence, but I think it's A, right?
Yeah, there've always been Kims. Well, not always, but since they were installed, it's been Kim.
The three that have actually been in charge have been from the Kim family.
Correct.
Yeah.
So is C a typo?
Yeah, I think C is a typo, yeah.
Or maybe it's a deliberate typo.
I think it's one of them.
Because if it was Kim Il Sung, that would be an also correct answer because he was preceded. Kim Jong Un was preceded by Kim, and Kim Jong Un might be dead now for all we know.
The Il Sung is not his birth name.
Oh boy!
It's some weird translation like father of the sun or something silly. Yeah, it's like a nickname they were given to him, like the dear leader and all that sort of shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting. So I think we're all.
Kim Nam Chol, I think was his birth name, if I recall correctly.
And have people been hearing the rumor about Kim Jong Un's maybe?
Yeah, he's going to enter this year's Eurovision Song Contest. Crazy.
Yeah,
and he's representing England as well.
Well,
I mean, it's not the worst war criminal we've had on.
As England doesn't actually participate solely, it's the UK. I'll have you know.
Whoever knew that? I didn't give a shit.
No, I don't really.
The last time I watched it, there was.
I believe he's going with Albania. So.
Oh, that's out of left field.
Small man for a small country.
He could do better. He could have been the UK entry. He could have been a contender.
I don't think, even though he's dead, possibly, he probably wouldn't do any worse than the person we're actually going to send, whatever poor bastard it is this time.
Or group.
Yeah, it could be several. Yeah, why not?
Several poor bastards.
Yeah, I mean, nil point is nil point in any language. So.
Yes, it is. All right, the capital.
All right. I'm going with Abuja. I'm.
It is.
I don't left field, but I think so. I think
it is Abuja, but it used to be Lagos when I was a kid.
I love
how changed it.
I love how I get as far as what is, and Tom's like Abuja. Like I've been first.
Well, you guys are talking about British shit and comedy and stuff that I have no idea of, and
he's just waiting.
Eurosite or I don't know.
Not my favouritely named African capital though. That honour goes to Ouagadougou.
Oh, what is Ouagadougou the capital of? I'd never heard of that.
I am going to say Guinea-Bissau, but I'm probably wrong.
Oh, you know the capital, but not the country.
Yes.
That's weird. That's not a thing that happens often. No, I'm just saying, like, in terms of inverse, normally people know the name of a country but not know the capital. You know the capital, but not the country.
What's the capital of France?
Paris?
Germany.
F.
What?
F.
Paris.
The capital of France. F.
Okay. So we're just going to move along here. The capital of France is F. Got it. All right. Tom answered with confidence. Correctly, as it turns out.
I'm surprised. Okay.
Who is the only U.S. president to serve more than 2 terms? Is it Lincoln?
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Washington or Roosevelt? Or Roosevelt. I don't know. I think I always say them the same.
Franklin, be specific.
FDR.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. We're just gonna go. That's.
I heard a story that Teddy and Franklin actually pronounce their names differently.
Roosevelt and Roosevelt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't remember which one did it which way.
Me
Yeah.
neither.
But I could be totally wrong.
What blood type is
AB
it?
positive. Oh no, transfused
No.
patient.
AB.
Oh,
Yep.
negative. Oh, negative. Sorry.
Oh,
AB
neg-
positive universal receiver.
Receive. Yeah.
oh, I didn't know that part of it. I know O negative was a donor, but I didn't know that you could be a universal receiver.
There's it's called what's its name? It's a rhombus. The rhesus negative.
The rhombus, like the rumpy pumpy.
Oh yes, it's called the rhesus rhombus.
The rhesus
Which-
rhombus.
Yes.
Okay. And is it related to the rhesus rumba, which is very catchy?
Sadly not. The rhesus rumba and the rhesus rhombus had a bit of a falling out in 1967 due to the I don't know what the fuck happened in 1967 that I can attach
If
to
you
this.
say 1968, you can talk about the 1968 uprising and social upheaval that sort of like
Or
changed
if you
the way
talk
that we
about
look.
1968, you can talk about the thing that I'm making a video on at the minute, which is a thing that no one's heard of.
Which is
Oh, the Dollavera effect.
Isn't it the
I've
ashes?
talked about this before, Christy. Come on now.
the ashes. They might have happened in 1968.
certainly
yes,
have,
they
but
did.
it-
Actually, they did. Yes.
So they fell out over the ashes.
No,
Okay.
but that did happen in 1968. But no.
Okay. What element are diamonds made up almost entirely of?
A carbon.
Carbon.
Yes,
Oh,
we all
boy.
agree. All right.
Zinc.
Tom's going to be
I'm
contrary.
going to contrarian because, that's what we make coins out of when we don't have the good stuff.
Hmm. Well, it's good to have, we don't want groupthink here. We don't want to all be right. Oh, okay. Finally, something maybe
Oh, wow.
people don't know. How many hearts does an octopus have?
How many hearts does an octopus need?
Clearly many, because they are the most broken-hearted of all animals. They.
Well, they're too long.
Yeah.
They're obviously
That's
not
really-
Time Lords since 2 is not on the list.
No,
Yeah.
that's a good exclusion. Otherwise, people might get confused. Are you
They
an
do
octopus or a
regenerate
time
though.
lord? They do. I have no idea.
I'm going to say 2 each pair of arms.
I believe it is 4. I believe it is C.
Either for me, it would either be 1 or 4 because it either would be a singular organ or it would be like duplicated. What do you think, Kev? You're the only one who hasn't answered. Because we got Matthew got an answer too, right?
Well, I reject.
I haven't answered yet.
Okay.
I don't think answers are necessary.
Okay.
Considering I've never
What
heard
are
this, I'm
answers,
gonna say
really?
1.
You're gonna go 1, Matthew?
I'm going to go 1 since I've never heard of this. I would think I'd have at least heard of it
Yeah.
if it
And-
was more than 1. But I
and-
could be.
Oh my gosh! Everybody was wrong. Did anyone have 3?
One heart circulates around the body, and the other 2 pump through each of the 2 gills.
Oh, wow.
That actually makes a shit ton of sense. Yeah, because fish, how they formed the heart and stuff like that. It was originally 3 separate organs that were then very close together, that then kind of fused together to make our one heart. But there are some creatures, I guess, like cephalopods, that it looks really weird. It's kind of like separated out, and yeah.
Oh.
Do fish have 3-chambered hearts then?
Birds do. I happen to know that birds have 3-chambered hearts.
Yeah,
but I don't know if fish actually have 3-chambered hearts.
I know that birds have a cloaca.
I know that birds have
Not
beaks
related, but,
and feathers.
I know they have hollow bones.
I know that bugs don't have hearts or lungs.
I know that birds shit on my car, which is annoying.
I know that Kev has a car.
But
I didn't know he had a car.
remember, it's the shit of dinosaurs. So
I was
feel
saying,
honored.
Absolutely.
A long lineage going all the way back.
Yes.
I just like how we're gonna
That's
start.
such a fucking. That's such a surf mentality of be happy for you have been shat on from ages on high.
Yeah, that's how Americans. Yeah, again, kind of being away from the States for a while, you're like, oh yeah, I can see that. You say California attitude. Yeah, that sunny disposition in the face of whatever. Whereas British people are just they have a sarcastic disposition in the face of whatever.
Who are you? I'm your king. Well, I didn't elect you.
Exactly.
Help! I'm being oppressed.
Like the fact that we recruited a question. Yes, come see the violence inherent in the system. Yeah, we got Kevin's nihilism. He's refusing to answer questions in a quiz show. And then people just started a game of, well, I know, and then random fucking fact. Which was fun. Good. Okay, so now we all learned something, finally, out of a quiz. What is...
I learned about the carbon and the diamond thing. That was amazing to me.
Were you astounded?
Carbon is all black in Coley and Tari. Okay.
Until it turns into see-through, light bouncing pretty. That's a technical term.
For the sake of the chat, Andrew, blah, 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 whatever your name is, bugs don't have hearts or lungs. They, in fact, only have something called a spherical, which is tiny areas within their skin, which basically allows, it's basically like a Hoover. It just sucks in that kind of stuff. And they got a lot of use out of it. There are some kind of ants in Africa that don't even have that, and they are literally like suicide bombers. They just run at things when the hive is being attacked, and they have no method of eating, no method of breathing. They just attack and get killed, and that's the point of them.
Wow, nature's fucked up, man.
Nature is brilliant.
I'll
have you know, nature is brilliant. I don't know if you've heard about this, but there's like a virus thing. It doesn't have to like breathe or live or reproduce, and every now and then you just you just get the dancing virus and have to dance. You know, sadly it's samba, so I'm not very good at it.
Whenever I hear about stuff like the fucking Al Qaeda ant you were just talking about, I'm always reminded of
Al Qaeda doesn't have the fucking like cornered the market on suicide bombing, dude.
They don't,
but it's alliterative.
The ants would be Salafist Muslims, is what I'm guessing. Okay.
Also, it's lovely and alliterative, so Kevin likes it for that reason.
Well, indeed.
Al Qaeda ant.
I mean, it almost sounds like an expansion franchise in baseball or something. Who knows? I'm always reminded of that the great hymn, the "All things bright and beautiful, all creatures great and small." At no point does it say, "and also ants that are there just to commit suicide."
Kamikaze ants.
Yeah, or fucking worms that eat the eyes of lambs.
I mean, nature, in its purest form, is like it's what I have to like. If there was, you can't argue there's any morality or creation because nature is just about what succeeds, and that's the only metric. What reproduces, that's it. That's it. And whatever fucked up variations or whatever you do, as long as you reproduce, it'll be fine. It's fascinating, but it's also just completely mind blowing sometimes, I think.
But on the upside, everything dies, so sweet release.
Yeah, again, that asteroid that's going to miss the Earth. You had one fucking job, asteroid.
Yeah, the Earth is massive. How do you miss?
How do you miss us? Okay.
Come on, we're not some little fucking speck like Pluto. Fuck Pluto.
It's not even really a planet. It's only a dwarf planet. Okay, what is otology? Is it the study of the ears, the study of the eyes?
Study of the ear.
Okay, Matthew's in there with confidence. Study of
and
coins.
I can tell you why I know that so well.
Yeah.
Otolaryngologist?
Well, that's kind of close, Tom. One of my clients back at my old job was the Association of Otolaryngologists.
Oh, whoa.
The word I can't pronounce. And I know to cross off the I's because I used to also have the Association for Ophthalmologists as a client.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're both here in DC. So the coin one, I have no idea, but it's like numismology or something.
Yeah,
but
numismatics.
You live in DC, did you say?
Yeah, I'm outside of DC.
Oh, okay. Because we were talking about this. Do you get to vote?
In DC, so DC is weird because it's, DC gets less rights than Puerto Rico does when it comes to voting.
More money,
DC,
though.
What's that?
They get more money though.
Well, see, DC money is allocated by Congress. So DC does have a mayor and a city council, but everything they do has to get the rubber stamp of Congress. So there's the home rule is kind of a weird thing in DC. DC does get 3 electors, the same amount that Wyoming gets. So yes, they do have an effect in the presidential election, but in every other way, like there is a non-voting delegate from DC in the House, but that's it.
You don't have
as
Senate
far as
representation.
No Senate representation at all. That delegate is Eleanor Holmes Norton, who's done an amazing job over last 30, 40 years or something like that. She's been in there forever.
Yeah, I recognize the name, and it's a good person. So that's
yeah.
I'm against reflexive term limits because as someone, I think it was maybe it was Dave Obey. There's a name from Wisconsin, Tom. Yes. I remember. It says basically it's like the "stop me before I vote again" bill. If you think someone's doing a good job, why can't you hire them again? I don't understand. Anyway, but we don't want to get down the term limits discussion.
Well, that's always my point with foreign-born folks. Although Britain has a foreign-born leader who's not doing a great example here, but the point being, if people in the country want to vote for a dude, say Arnold Schwarzenegger, the fact that he wasn't born there shouldn't matter.
I think at the time the Constitution was written, I think they were probably worried about the powers that the president would have, that you could get like a French-influenced or a British-influenced puppet in, and that Congress might not be able, basically like what Trump is, but to Russia, but they were worried about the French or the British at the time. So I think that's why they put the domestic link, but it's only for the White House. It's only for the presidency. Every member of Congress. I was
always suspicious about Van Buren.
He was. All right. Well, let's watch Matthew being right here as the clock ticks down.
Now, otology is the study of Otti, Steve Shive's cat.
This very much feels like a pub quiz in that there's a question and then there's 5 minutes of talking bullshit, and then people at the end go,
"That's the problem."
And at the end they go, "Oh shit, time's up. What's the question? What's our answer?"
Libya.
Round, is it?
I believe that is
the music round. They were playing music. I thought that was just a fucking jukebox. Oh, bollocks.
No, it's Libya.
All right. Is there music on? Oh, sorry. I didn't realize I couldn't hear any music. So, okay.
No, it was, no, I was doing a bit. There wasn't music.
All right. I thought suddenly there was trivia music. Like, no, copyright. Yes, correct.
Yeah.
Ooh, you can tell it was British. You can tell this was written by Brits. Can I tell you how I know?
How?
They use the word whilst.
Yes. I was actually going to go with Sudan as being why it's American, because British people call it the Sudan.
Ah. I didn't notice that. Which of the following psychologists is most associated with classical conditioning?
Oh, this one rings a bell.
Shit. Pavlov, I believe.
The dog?
Ding, 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 ding. Did you see what I did there? The dog ringing the bell.
No,
I'm not explaining it to you, Tom. I'm explaining. You got my joke. You laughed. What is halitosis? Enlarged gums, bad breath, or a rare type of cancer?
B. Bad breath.
B. All right, we're gonna do one more, and then I'm gonna try to find harder questions because this is some bullshit right here.
Just do a Jimmy Carr one. I mean, how many answers for Fargo can we find?
Yes. All right, let's go back. Let's do some Jimmy. Let's all do Jimmy. We're gonna do them together. Let's all do Jimmy together.
These are actually hard.
That's what she said.
Oh shit! The newest one will have gone up there now. Actually,
yep. Is this This is from the 25th.
Yeah, but we won't have the answers. Oh no, it's questions and answers now, isn't it?
Yeah, it's questions and answers. They've joined them.
So this is from yesterday's. This is the freshest. This is hot off the presses, as it were. And look at that face, Jimmy. Look at that. Oh, it's a great look. Right there.
Oh man, Jimmy is the most mlem of all people.
I was kind of disappointed because finally Jimmy Carr actually came and performed in Cologne. I was like, why did it have to be a comedian I hate? Why can't somebody I like come to Cologne? I would pay money for that.
Why do you hate him?
One, I don't think he's very funny. I mean, hate is a strong word, but I just don't think he's that funny. I think his jokes are not that clever generally. There's a lot of punchline jokes, which I don't. That's not my favorite. I like wordplay jokes more than punchline jokes sort of format. And he's got that annoying laugh. Oh my
We
god!
already watched this one.
Nope.
Oh, is it backwards? It can't be.
No. The first one was backwards, and now this one's forwards.
Oh, forwards. Oh, okay.
Forwards facing. And if I remember correctly, it's something like an alpaca.
No, it's the Al Qaeda ant.
Oh,
Well, why is
the
Jim-
most? Aren't they? Wouldn't they be up? Wouldn't they be downward facing knees then?
downward
Because they're
facing
all
up?
like that.
forward
They're all
facing?
like praying mantis.
I don't know.
All I want to know is that Jimmy's got an obsession with which ways your knees are facing, which is a bit strange, I think. But
I'm gonna go with centipede because they got 100 of them, and you got to figure at least 4 of them are fucked up.
what technically qualifies as an animal? Like, are insects animals in this?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, well then it might be
If
a praying
it's not a
mantis.
vegetable or a mineral, it's an animal.
What is a tree an animal?
No.
Is a
Plant.
car tire an animal?
What are the minimum and what are the necessary and sufficient conditions for being an animal?
It's cheese animal.
Alive and not
Cheese.
a tree. Alive and not a bacteria or a plant.
Okay, so you can't be a bacteria or you can't be a plant, but as long as you take in oxygen.
Okay.
Well,
Something
not-
that's alive and not a planet. Hope.
Hope.
There are 4 domains of life, and the 2 of them are bacterioids, and the other 2 are animal and vegetable. So,
I'm just gonna say that sounds like some D&D shit when you're like there are 4 domains of.
that is. I mean, Tom, I don't want to be knocking you and your age and stuff like that, but that's like the like biological classification of the 1800s or some shit like that, man. I'm sorry. No, it doesn't work like that anymore. Shit's moved on.
what would you say are the
It's changed since I've been in high school.
So the most like long-reaching one would be something to the effect of like being eukaryotic or something like that, like something with a clade. But if you want,
Archaea,
that's
bacteria,
limited to
and
animals.
eukarya.
you know, like
right, you're right. Bacteria.
I mean, if you want to, I could just sit there and go, "Oh yeah, well they move around and they fart every now and then."
Okay,
There you go.
It sounds
I
like
don't
Kevin.
really-
that's right. Bacteria, archaebacteria, and
Eukarya.
Eukarya. And
Yeah.
then eukarya, but there are three divisions of eukaryotes though.
Okay, but is any of this getting us closer to the answer of the fucking question?
I think it's camel. I legit think it's camel because I remember that.
Okay.
Yeah, that could work.
Hey, you're talking with confidence. I'm convinced.
Camels
Is
are
it Wookiee?
All right, so we'll see what's next. We have to remember our answers now. This is harder the more you do because they start to blend. But I think we'll remember camel, not camel. No, we did do this one. We did do.
Yeah.
How is it possible? This one's on the 25th of April, which is yesterday, right?
Yeah.
Is
Is
he
he
recycling?
recycling?
Is he freaking recycling questions? We already know it's named after a dagger. All right.
No. That was it. It's week 4. He's put the entire fucking week. What he does is that he compresses it all together.
Yes,
He puts
that's
it all in a
right.
week.
So we need the last one. So we need the most recent one here. Here we go. Yes.
little silhouette of a man, Scaramouche.
Okay.
Bingo.
This
Brown the flower, colloquially known as mums.
Ooh, that I don't
So
know.
that's chrysanthemums. But how do you spell it?
Oh, for fuck's sake. CHRYSSANTHEMUMS.
Yeah,
Wow.
why is it?
Oh wow, you actually went and spelled it out to be on the record.
I
Wow.
think I got it wrong because it's chrysanthemums.
Well, you
So-
also said H, which
Yes.
is, that's wrong too.
Oh, Tom's just dunking on people now.
He's dunking specifically on me. What the fuck are you talking about?
Oh, no, I got Kevin a few times.
Yeah, absolutely.
No. I am
Christy's-
clearly the most dunkable person in this room, and I have been dunked on more than anyone else, and I'm handsome and intelligent, just like everyone. More handsome and intelligent than The man.
I'm not, but no matter what you do, I'm not going to debate you.
Debate me, bro.
Not going to debate you.
Debate me, bro.
I wouldn't want you to debate me.
Well, now that I said that I wouldn't, I'm sure you.
You're gonna have to. Here we go. Which was the first? Oh, Kevin. Sorry, it's Kevin's domain here.
I'm not reading these now.
Well, that is a tradition.
You read the first one.
It is a tradition, yes. Okay. Which was the first of NASA's Apollo missions to get a man to the moon? You interrupted me, goddammit. Anyway, it's 11.
I buzzed in because I knew the answer.
Buzzed in. Nice.
Like Jeopardy.
No, Buzz, as in Buzz Aldrin.
Oh.
Buzzed in. Come on.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm
Science.
gonna say that I had that plan, but.
Oh, okay. I see puns where no puns are.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
Yeah, that's actually it was pretty strong. My arm there was.
I osmose puns. Anyway, what is the name of the fictional suburb that's home to the Waterhall and Lassiter's Hotel? Oh, it's one of the Australian soaps, isn't it?
Neighbours?
One of them, but what's it? Is it Ramsey Street or something? But that's not a suburb, is it?
So is this British fiction or
No, this is
No,
it's Australian actually,
soap operas.
which they have on television in Britain.
Yeah. And I can't remember the name of. I haven't watched them since I was like fucking 10 or something. So I mean, I can't remember.
But I bet you can sing the theme song.
Neighbors, everybody talking
Neighbours.
with a little understanding.
Kevin, here I see a microphone. But when I do that, you can't hear me. And I don't want to hear Kevin. So
Okay, I have decided as a group.
I guess.
I've decided as a group this is our answer.
Okay. Down under Wagga suburb. Wanga suburb. Okay.
Yeah.
That seems a very pretty.
It's going to annoy me when the answer comes up because I'll know it, but I can't fucking think of it. Skopje is the capital of which European country?
Oh, fuck.
I think I know this one.
Is it?
Albania.
Ooh.
No.
I was thinking Norway.
No.
Mm.
That's Oslo.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it looks.
I can't remember which of the two, but it's one of the former, one of the many former Yugoslav nations, and I think it's what's now North Macedonia.
Wow, we've origins all over the place. So no confidence.
All right, we've got Albania and Macedonia.
Not even going
No,
to.
Albania is Tirana.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it wasn't Albania. It just when he said it, I thought it was.
That's close. Albania definitely borders what was Yugoslavia, so you're in the right region.
All right, so we're going with North Macedonia. There we are.
Well,
I like the fact that you're keeping notes because I don't remember the answers that I've given.
This comes from many long years of doing pub quizzes with my partner and us having like stand-up shouting matches because I refused to write it down. So I just decided, okay, I'll do it right now.
Oh, sorry, I let it go too long there. I got distracted. Pull it back. Okay.
Will Wright created which massively successful video game? He had the idea while rebuilding his home after a firestorm.
Ugh.
SimCity?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, Sims, but I don't know.
Oh,
I've never heard of it.
I believe that's Sid Meier's.
Oh, no, that's Civilization.
No, it's Civilization. Yeah.
Oh wait.
When Christy said that, she sounded like she might be right.
I sounded like I might be right. What do I sound like when I might be right?
Well, only because when you said it, it's like, oh, that name sounds familiar when you said SimCity, and so yeah, I'm thinking like the original, 90s version.
Yeah, not the Sims, but when you had like zoning of commercial in residential or industrial.
Industrial.
Yep, and I can never balance the frickin' economy.
You obviously had the game set too hard.
Apparently, yeah.
It's because you leftists don't understand basic economics. Boom, libertarian slam.
I think we used to leave that going and then go to lectures and come back and we've been invaded by aliens and half the city was gone.
Okay, Okay, we're now on a weird question where we have to decipher what the task of getting the question is. Right. Name the book Stripped Feline Received Our Hospitality.
Striped.
Oh, striped. Sorry, apologies. Not stripped. That wouldn't make any fucking sense.
Well, it makes sense if you wrote it because you said it.
Well, that's true.
That would be
okay. So it's basically a rewording.
It's the translated to Japanese translated back thing. I think.
No, I think it's they've just come up with an alternate way of saying the exact phrase.
Title in English, yeah.
So this is the tiger who came to
cat got
the tiger who came to what dinner?
Came to
tea.
Oh, okay, it's a British cultural reference, and I take it that's a children's book.
Indeed, it is. Okay. Yes, about a tiger who was accepted into a family home and mauls them all to death. Oh no, that's my version.
That's not a good bedtime story.
The dark version.
But more accurate. So.
Oh gosh.
The
BFG
and good-natured.
Oh, okay.
BFG. Okay, I didn't. Leave it the fuck up. I can't see. I can't see it. I can't answer the fucker.
Oh, sorry. I'll lock the screen. I don't know how that got unlocked. That should be better. Yep. So yeah, now when Kevin reads it, people will be able to see it, as opposed to just when I talk. Sorry, everybody.
Well, this is The Big Friendly Giant, which I love that book. We were read it by a teacher called Mr. Henry. He was one of my favourite. Mr. Henry, sorry, he was my favourite teacher as a kid. And he had a thick Bristolian accent, which is amazing. If you don't know the accent, you should. Think, I don't even know, like sort of traditional pirate, I suppose, kind of.
I thought that was Cornwall.
And so when David Jason did the BFG in the film, I was like, this isn't right. He doesn't sound anything like him.
Oh, so BFG means Big Friendly Giant.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, because you guys just said BFG. I was like, what is that?
It stands for Big Fucking Gonads.
Or if you're in Doom, the big fucking gun.
All right, so I think by the way, so just so we all can participate here, did any of you, like Kevin, had a teacher who read a book that you sort of loved, like remembered the teacher and reading the book? Because I had that. I can't remember. I remember it was Mr. Nebel, and he read us what's the one about the yellow dog?
Old Yeller.
Old Yeller. Yeah, he actually read us out Old Yeller, sort of like chapter by chapter over a couple of weeks, and like we had a.
Did he explain about death?
Well, we had a room full of kids with wet eyes toward the end. Yeah.
I was thinking, was it a particularly appropriate thing? How old were you when you were doing
grade,
that?
So like 10 or 11.
Oh, okay, that's not too
I guess, yeah, you're about as old as Jimmy or whatever his name was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I never had teachers read me books. I read them. I could read them from myself.
Oh.
Yeah. And listen, kids. You know, it's death comes to us all, including yourselves and everyone you've ever known and loved. But you know, it's quite painful towards the end. So it's a sweet release. Think of it that way, yeah?
In 200 years, nobody will remember you.
Exactly. So, your existence will have been utterly pointless.
Didn't matter a bit.
Is Kevin becoming the nihilist now?
Yes. The nihilist pub quiz.
I don't know if I mentioned this on the air before, but I did a similar thing. We did a play maybe 6 or 7 years ago. It was called I just lost the name. The Arkansas Bear is what it was called. And it's about the Arkansas Bear is a dancing bear, and he was taught to dance by the great dancing bear, who's this older bear who found him and taught him to dance. And so he dances for the circus and all this other stuff. But the whole point of it is that the great dancing bear is getting old. And so
when you say bear during this whole thing, do you mean large, hairy, homosexual man?
No.
Could you mean a large, hairy, homosexual man?
I guess it could be that way, but considering it's a children's story, it might not go down so well.
Look, Johnny's Got Two Daddies is a kid's book, so I think that works.
Yeah, but the whole thing is
also everybody poops. I mean, we have the range covered. I think kids are pretty resilient.
But it's it's the same idea as Old Yeller. It's about the bear dying, and it comes down so there's a girl in the play, and so all these magical creatures tell her about how to remember the life of someone.
Oh, that's kind of cute. My like I had a lot of ones, a lot of teachers teaching me things because I moved around a lot when I was younger. The kind of like last one that I particularly remember was one person reading the second Harry Potter book. And it was actually like very recently. So it was very recent after that book had come out. And it was a big thing, and it was already pretty big at the time. And the reason we stopped after the fourth chapter or so was because Hermione made an appearance, and this was before the films. So promptly the entire class fell into conniptions because no one knew how to pronounce this one name. And then the teacher just went, okay, we're not doing this anymore because you guys are getting too wound up about it. I then did something a bit similar. I used to teach abroad. I used to teach English to like disabled kids. And this one kid who we never really knew what was up with her, but she really was like very tactilely interested with things. So she would like be all up for like scratch and sniff, touch and taste. These kind of like different books. And one time I got her a this book that's called like That's Not My Kitten, and it's like it's a thing where you like it's like that's not my kitchen, my chicken, or that's not my dog, or whatever, and it's got like a little thing that you touch. And I got right to the end, and she looked at me once we got to the end. It's like, this is my cat. It's so lovely and blah blah blah. And she looked at me and she burst into tears. And she was like 3 or 2 or something like that. And I was terrified because I was new, and it was kind of like this was the first time I'd really gotten to engage with her. But her mum came in and was like, "Oh, what's up? Oh, da 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 da." And she told her mum, and then her mum just started busting her gut laughing, and she told me she didn't like the cat that they'd found. She wanted another cat, and she didn't want to take this cat home. I was like, "Oh, for fuck's sake!"
Yeah, kids don't really have a sense of proportion at that age, generally.
No,
I don't want this kitty.
My favorite story of teachers reading stuff was when a guy who wasn't at the school very long actually, but he read to us Fight Club by Chuck Palahniuk, and then got us
how
to
old were you?
do some soap. We were building soap with him, and they stopped inviting him to the school after that. I don't know what happened. His house burnt down. That was strange.
One of Kevin's
There was
stories.
one time when this elderly gentleman with a cane started reading Michael Crichton's Jurassic Park, and then he wanted us to go into a helicopter with him. He said he would take us to a magical place.
Was Jeff Goldblum anything to do with this?
There was a naked man.
Of course, there was a naked man. Why wouldn't there?
Look,
Anyway, yes, number 7.
all I'm saying is, if all we have to do is tolerate a little bit of death and destruction, but it'll keep the dinosaur park industry going. So you really have to balance what's more important, the local economy or a few lives every year because people are eaten by T-Rex. Sorry.
Well, I know 1,500 people in Wisconsin that would say that T-Rex is more important.
Yeah, they also would say that it's more important to open the economy than to. But yes, okay. So we know that
was my point.
Yep.
You step all over it, Christy.
I saw the protests too. That just looked like a human petri dish.
That's what I was talking about. That's what I was talking about. There was one
of Mice and Men.
Yep.
Oh.
Bring back.
Bring you back to the quiz.
Yes, right. Yanking us back to the quiz. Yeah, fair enough. Of Mice and Men. Yeah, at least that's one that more people outside of the UK might have a chance of doing. So thanks, Jimmy.
Right, this one I know straight away.
Okay. Go ahead. The end of the life of a derisive avian creature.
To kill a mockingbird.
Aha. Well done.
I was
Nice.
Look at the big.
I noticed I've been demoted from reading duties.
All right. Harrowing habitation. Oh, sorry. Your turn, Kev. You have to do it officially. Otherwise, it's like Sigourney Weaver in the movie about space. Not the Aliens one. Space Quest. Is that what it is? Yeah, harrowing habitation. Are you all just thinking hard? Is that what the silence is?
Thinking.
Okay. I don't know. Dangerous grounds. Habitation.
So a house, a home.
Hell House? Is that the name of a book? Just a video game.
It would fit with the alliteration.
That's true. But I don't know.
A habitation just means living.
Yes.
Oh, hang on. Is it Bleak House?
Bleak
for
House?
fuck's sake. Bleak. Seriously. Oh.
You sound less disgusted than that Kevin did some of the emoji ones. But
Like, the thing that
Well,
I
yeah,
have...
because at least that works. That actually is
No, it
an
does
answer
work.
rather
Yeah.
than fucking Chai Door King. Jesus.
Or what was staying alive? A stain, and then a
Stain.
tie.
Yeah, Stain. And an olive or some stupid nonsense.
Yeah.
Chrysanthemum.
So
Yeah, I missed. I put two S's.
Well, I give you points for
You
effort.
let us down.
Wait.
He had it spelled out with
Failure cannot be tolerated.
If you guys want to see the answers that I put down, there's like
the
the little chat thing, you can get it up.
Yeah.
Fuck off, Jimmy. I put 11. Come on.
Right here they are. He's been diligent. There we go. There's the original. Too many S's in chrysanthemums. I can't even say it. Chrysanthemum. Yeah.
Be drunk and go to a garden centre and ask for them. You'll be fun.
Can I have some Christopher? Can I have some Christopher? Oh,
wow. Suck a dick.
Yeah, fuck's sake. Erinsborough. Fuck's sake.
Yeah.
No
well,
idea.
everybody knows.
You know they filmed that on a real street? The outsidey bits.
I can't imagine.
I went too far back. So this is the was that Neighbours then?
Neighbours.
Yeah.
Place? Okay.
And it's a real Ramsey Street is a real street that isn't called Ramsey Street. It's called something else. And so the exterior shots from the houses, the actual residents of whatever that street is called, like leave for like 2 days every fortnight or something, and they film the outdoors bits.
Yeah.
Yeah.
North Macedonia.
All right.
Yeah. Which used to just be Macedonia, but then there's a border dispute with Greece because they've got a bit called Macedonia too.
Back of the net.
Sims, nice.
I must have subconsciously picked it up looking at the video game box. Or it was just a guess.
It's the clue about the burning house thing, isn't it?
Yes. The Tiger that Came to See. Correct.
But Will Wright did write SimCity, which predates The Sims by a bit.
Oh, okay.
The boofk.
BFG, as predicted, or as answered, I should say. Of Mice and Men. Nicely done.
Well, we've got a Grapes of Wrath thing as well, so he's clearly got a Steinbeck tip.
Yes, as well. To Kill a Mockingbird.
To Kill a Mockingbird.
Will it be Bleak House? It is Bleak House.
Bleak House.
All right.
Bleak House is ironically a bleak book. Have you ever tried to read it? It's fucking hard work. The laws of chancery and all of that shit.
I don't think we had a Donald Trump question. I think I might have found one we
That
didn't
was my
do.
review of a book from 150 years ago. You're welcome.
Yeah, it's better than the Sparks notes.
Spoilers.
I kind of got over my kick of reading old Victorian literature when I read Tessa the D'Urbervilles, and then I promptly went into a deep dark depression.
You need to get on some American stuff.
I did get onto some American stuff, and then I read Catcher in the Rye because I saw that film with Mel Gibson in it, where he bought Catcher in the Rye over and over again. And yeah,
Braveheart.
Yeah, The Patriot, where he wrote the book. Yeah.
All right, you guys are done riffing?
No.
Okay, well, can you pause in the riffing? I found one that I did, but Kevin, I showed a friend of mine, so I know the answer.
Sodium chloride is the chemical name for a substance which you definitely have in your home.
Salt. I'm leaving.
What? Who's leaving? No, Tom, you are.
I've at my age, I've decided that an hour and a half is about as much as I can sit on my ass.
That's fair enough.
Without moving around and doing other stuff. And it's given that Kevin is in this one, this has been a chore. Fucking chore, man.
So you're more tired than usual.
Fuck you, Kevin. Yeah, fuck you, Kevin.
Where'd Kevin go?
I do need to shuffle off, so I'm going to just say salt and go away.
You're going to leave salty?
Salt.
You're going to leave
table
salty?
Salt. Table salt, because salt is, there are a lot of different salts.
Okay.
But sodium chloride is specifically table salt.
Oh, all right. Well, thank you for perfecting our knowledge. Otherwise, we would
take
just
care, Tom.
Huh?
Take care, Tom.
Oh, it's Hulu. Yeah, I'm leaving now. I said
good,
I would. So
good to see you again.
Good to see you, bro. Bye-bye.
You can watch the rest of it on air, though, on the channel, and answer along.
Right.
So.
Right. Okay.
Okay. Catch you later.
Although I do remember at one point in time they used to put potassium chloride in table salt. Do something.
I remember the days when they used to put heroin in Coca-Cola.
I remember the days when napping was the only way that you could actually get sharp
by the Coca-Cola Corporation, Krista?
Sorry, what was that?
I said, do you mind being sued by the Coca-Cola Corporation?
Oh, no, bring it. It'll give us attention.
Because I suspect that the letter will be in the post before I even said that.
I remember
Who starred in both?
I remember the days when dabbing was acceptable.
Me too.
5 minutes.
True. I mean, dabbing is always acceptable. Dabbing's either it's in your heart or it isn't.
Okay.
Who starred in both the kids' movie The Railway Children and the grown-ups horror movie American Werewolf in London?
This is going to be for you, for the Brits. I don't think Americans would.
I have no idea.
Okay, was it?
Wasn't Michael J. Fox in a werewolf movie at one point?
But American Werewolf in London, that was early. That was Werewolves in London. I mean, that was way back in like the 80s.
Was it Marlene Dietrich?
I can tell you no, because I did see the answer, and I remember Marlene. She wasn't in The Railway Children, was she?
She was one of the child actresses.
No, she was probably dead before both were made. She was from like the 30s. She was like an arts actress, wasn't she?
All right, here's a question: Have either of you seen The Railway Children?
Yeah.
Do you remember any of the actors?
I've seen children on the railways.
I've seen children get run over on the railways.
Oh.
I mean, I've heard of children in Shining Time Station, but
Children of the Corn.
Bernard Cribbins.
We're just going to shout some people. Okay.
Just shout names. Actually, I think Andrew Bailey.
I believe Bernard Cribbins was actually like the crook,
the answer to this.
Well, Andrew Bailey in the chat does have it. I will say that.
No, I don't know.
All right. Well, I'm going to give the points to the chat then. You guys can also. And I see Life Until Love also had salt. So far the chat has 2. We have 1. MacGuffin. Nice. I did see that. The MacGuffin. Kev, you're up. Unless you're on Twitter, looking at Paul Joseph Watson to see if he's mentioned you again. Kev?
Is he still there?
Well, he might have.
Or did his internet kick him off?
Sorry.
There he is.
At Live Aid, the first act was Status Quo. What was the very appropriate song they chose to start the day with?
Does anyone here know any Status Quo songs?
Yeah, there's loads. I presume it's something like Rocking All Over the World, is what I would imagine.
Ding, 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 ding.
Oh, okay, good.
Sorry, unless I just cut off Lath here and you wanted to make a suggestion.
No. Yeah. Well, now I've got the right answer. Why would I continue?
No, not you.
That's all right.
Okay, you're happy for Kev to bring his status quo knowledge
Yeah,
to the table.
we're all entitled to bad taste.
Okay. Number 4.
Well, no, hang on. Whoa. Time out. Just because I know they exist and their songs, because they were in the charts way back, doesn't mean I like them.
Okay,
That's outrageous.
that's cool. Yeah, I understand.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Apologies accepted.
That's true. I know of Ice
The
Ice
Tate
Baby, but
Houses of Art.
doesn't mean I like it.
Exactly.
Ice,
I know
Ice Baby.
Informer.
Informer Snow.
Doesn't mean that.
The guy's name was actually
Doesn't
Snow.
mean that snow isn't a cultural crime against humanity.
Do you know any of the words he
Anyway.
was saying after Informer? Because I don't. It's just consonants
Let's keep
involved.
doing bibbidi what I'm saying. I like you boom boom down.
Something like that.
That's all I know. The Tate Houses of Artwork from 1917 are called The Fountain, but it's not a fountain. What is it really?
I got this one right.
It's a toilet.
Not entirely correct. Anyone else want to go have a go?
I'm going to assume it's a water fountain.
Really? You guys don't know this?
Nah.
Oh, okay. Have you guys heard of Duchamp?
Oh, shit. A urinal.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's actually a urinal.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I thought that was common knowledge, but I stumped Kevin. The toilet was close.
Not that common. That's the problem.
Yeah, apparently.
Is it Didier Deschamps, the former Juventus midfielder?
I don't think so. Was he born after 1917?
Yes.
Probably not him then. All right, number 5.
Okay. Which bird has eyes which can barely move around inside their eye sockets?
Owls.
It's got to be the owl, hasn't it?
I can tell you the answer. Yeah, that's the right answer. Yes. Hey, we don't have to wait for the end now, because I can actually
Otherwise,
tell.
why would it need to be able to have that amazing neck?
Exactly. 270 degrees, apparently. All right.
I know they've got massive eyeballs as well. It takes up most of their cranial space.
Oh.
You can
I didn't know
see
it could
you can see their optical nerve.
Madonna
actually...
songs.
Oh,
Some
sorry.
Wait. What about their optical nerves? Before we leave the owls.
There was like a biological experiment to see like a thing, because there was this weird thing that you can do with like, I think it was barn owls or something, where if you like just move their ear a particular direction, you could see the back of their optical nerve. They could see there's no differentiation between the skin around their ear and their their eyeball, basically. So you could see directly into their eyeball. So they wanted to see whether or not there's actually anything to do with that. So they basically just fucked around with some poor owl's optical nerve to see if they could like incite things, and they were able to kind of like basically induce predatory fight-flight responses into the thing. I think it was fucking cruel because they ostensibly just electrocuted a poor bastard owl, but yeah.
Did you guys have to cut things up in biology class?
The answer is Papa Don't Preach.
Yes, it is.
It's Papa Don't Preach, yeah.
It is. But I was going to ask this before. Did you guys have to cut things up in biology class? Can you remember what you had to cut up?
I went to biology in Pennsylvania, and by the time I got there, they had ended that program.
We had to cut up a cow heart.
Really? Wow.
Yep.
Anything else?
No.
This is going to be grim. Yeah, what did you have to cut up?
Well, Laith, I was going to let you go first.
No. Mine would be pretty grim because I come from a poor, deprived part of the world. Everywhere I lived was some form of war zone. So we didn't have that. Somebody did teach me bullet ballistics as part of my school curriculum.
Oh, shit.
That was awesome. The guy just got like a shit ton of rifle bullets and then like then put them into like vices and showed like all the different things. It was great.
I would actually find that topic really fascinating, but I don't think it's appropriate for school kids.
I mean, like, it was what was had.
Yeah.
If you're ever particularly interested in it, you can look up, the thing that kind of like there's these things on Facebook and Twitter of like, oh, look at the ingenuity of teachers and shit like that. There are like a couple of videos where it's just like showing kids really, really basic like science in areas where it's completely deprived, no form of like infrastructure
Supplies.
for teaching.
Right.
Yeah. And so what they do is that they teach like irrigation as a method of describing gravity and these kind of like concepts. I actually think it was because I happened to be where I was studying was Baghdad College, which was the biggest, kind of like the best school in the whole of Iraq kind of thing. And the guy just had carte blanche to do whatever the fuck he wanted to do. One time he got a AK-47 spring and said, how many times could I whip this around my head before my head falls off? And we bet on how much that would be. And then he just took the money.
That was your teacher?
Yes.
That's theft. That's just theft.
That's taking...
Hey, he was my teacher. That's not theft. That's learning.
Tuition.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I had to cut up tons of shit.
That's a tax on stupidity.
The life lesson.
We were fucking dumb. At that point, I was cigarette addled and like 2/3 of a way to a like mental breakdown. It was It was a lovely time though. Much better than religion studies. Fuck that fucking thing. Anyway, yeah, we got Papa Don't Preach. And what did you chop up then?
Oh gosh,
Chris?
we had a whole like a year of progressively more complicated things that we had to dissect. So first of all, I have a very clear memory. We got these sort of like almost like little mini baking pans that were, maybe 2.5 centimeters or 1.5 inches, or maybe 3 or 4 inches deep. And they all had these dark black wax in the bottom of the pan with all these holes in it because they just reused them over and over every single year. And it just stunk of formaldehyde. So we started with earthworms. Then we went to locusts, and at some point I swear we did fetal pigs, but maybe people just talked about it. But yeah, we had to like cut them open and pull it apart and look at different things and label it, and yeah, it was not my favorite class.
You see that like that's that kind of thing kind of makes me feel. I mean, my learning experience was very weird and inapt and stuff like that, but it like just hearing about this thing of like, oh yeah, here's a cow's heart, chop it up, have fun with it, I'm just kind of like, that's fucking dark, dude.
Yeah,
like you could feed someone, like my thing would be immediately, you could feed someone with that. Like, I'll chop it up, sure, if I can take it home, but yeah, that's weird.
Yeah, I'll put it in a stew. Yeah.
But Andrew Anaslowski has a fantastic thing of doing a virtual frog, which, like, I don't want to judge on account of the fact that, like, my kinks are very strange.
Oh, yeah, we did frogs. That was it. We got up to frogs. I remember.
But did you do a virtual frog?
No.
And did you do a frog?
We did a real frog. We had to pin their little dead hands to the black wax. It was awful.
Hands? You've given it hands?
Well, it's like it had little hands. I was empathizing with the frog.
That's the thing. That's the thing. So like, this is for Christy and Matthew. How traumatic kind of thing was that? Because I remember like cartoons and shit like that, where it would be like episodes of it would be like, oh, I got to cut up a frog and I'm terrified or some shit like that. Like,
keep in mind, like I mentioned, I went to public school in a state that got rid of it in the 90s because that was a big thing starting in like 80. I'm reading an article about it right now. About 87 was when it started coming through America of at least giving students a choice of an alternate assignment. But by the time I took high school bio, which would have been like 92 for me, it wasn't even in the curriculum for Pennsylvania to do that. So we never had to cut up anything that had been alive. We did a lot of other things. And then we did a lot of those books had plates so that you could, it was the clear sheets that you can do and still get the anatomy from, even though you didn't cut anything up. But no, we never dissected anything.
Oh, wow. Cool.
Yeah, Pennsylvania, I think, was one of the earliest states to get rid of it, like after California did.
Yeah, right now I'm sort of looking at it online, and there's a place where you can use preserved frogs, bullfrogs, for class dissection exercises to learn the basics of anatomy and physiology.
Can you get human cadavers?
Okay. Oh, yeah, okay. I guess they must have taken it out of Wisconsin schools, because I'm looking here at Wisconsin Public Radio. This was from 2020. And it says, remember dissecting frogs when you were at school. Some educators across the country are opting for synthetic frogs instead of real ones. So maybe they still are doing it. I don't know. But yeah, it's an interesting, it's an important ethical debate, and kids aren't really given the choice. I don't know that they can opt out in all states. So, yeah, it kind of, on the one hand, I grew up in Wisconsin, right? So we had fishing. So there were always gutted fish, when my dad would come back, he'd clean them in the laundry room in the house. That part of the house would just reek of fish, which is why I don't like fish to this day. Also, we had deer hunting. So in November, you would just drive around and people would, tie the deer to the roofs of their car, or they'd be out of the backs of the trucks, and you just see, dead deer. So I don't think that they had kind of the awareness in the 1980s when I was growing up that people would have today.
Well, I think kids should be given a choice. They should be given a choice either to work down the mines or to work cleaning chimneys.
That's autonomy. Okay, so getting back to the quiz, I was just kind of wondering what other people's experiences were, and I did not expect learning about bullet calibers to come up in that conversation. But I have to say, it must be pretty useful. I mean, if you're watching like a crime drama and they have a 45, or you know that, right? You're like, oh, I know the caliber of that bullet.
We had to measure the gunpowder amount in the bullet casing as well. We had to find out. Like it was really stupid shit. Like, oh, here is a bullet fully loaded and shit like that. By the way, guys, you're going to have to figure out how much gunpowder is in this thing, and then what ratio of gunpowder it is to the rest of the bullet.
How many kids left that class
with all their fingers?
Full count of fingers. And hands.
Okay, do you want the real answer? Do you want the joke answer or the grim answer?
Oh no!
I want the real answer.
The real answer is of a group of, I believe there was 46 students in my class. Only 38 graduated the year.
Oh God! What year was that? In the 90s?
No, 2006.
Oh, okay.
So, like, I left out. I dropped out of school really early, and I'm fucked off back to England. And like, yeah, just it was an asshole of a time, honestly. But we got all kinds of we learned lots of nice things off of that teacher. One of my favorite ones was we had a mathematics teacher who would like teach us like algebra and stuff like that. And then one day he just came in and went, "You guys are the stupidest bunch of bastards I've ever had to teach." You know that? And he just spent the whole class beating the shit out of us, like just berating us for no particular reason. It was great.
See, that's honest. I think any teacher in the world can sympathize.
But see, Kevin, you're talking about losing fingers, and I don't know if you had it, but in our schools we had shop class, which is probably even more dangerous. I mean,
than gunpowder, as long as nobody has a lighter in their pocket.
Yeah, they give you access to knives and drills and shit. Yeah,
14-year-old versus bandsaw is not a good combo.
Yeah. One kid managed to glue his hand to a desk, and they had to actually get an ambulance out for him. He put industrial solvent and his hand on the desk.
Yep.
Wow.
One of the kids he used wood glue to try and use as a solvent to get high. He got it down his throat, so he glued his throat shut.
Oh.
That was fucking.
Oh wow.
Like, the big thing of it was that, like, you know, none of us wanted to go and be like, you know, dude's done this. And also he was on top of a roof, because like they just let us like when we had free lessons, we just fuck off. We just do whatever we wanted. He was on top of a roof, and we were like, "How the fuck do we get a kid who is choking like this?" So what one of the kids did was, he was like a lot older than us. So what he just did is that he punched the kid in the back of the head, and that somehow fixed it enough for us to go get an ambulance.
He just treated it like a computer that was on a bit.
Yeah,
fritzy.
he just
Reset button.
fucking decked the kid. He was down on the floor and he was like,
no, he wasn't trying to fix him. He was just thinking, well, before he dies, I want to punch him one more fucking time.
Probably.
And he just ended up having to say it.
Probably, like most of our relationships was confoundingly abusive. Yeah.
Well, we called it design and technology. Saw a kid saw the tip of his finger off on a jigsaw.
Oh God.
Lot of blood.
Actually, for me, what was worse than shop class was set design, set construction for our theater program, because there was less safety involved in that.
Getting the kids up on the catwalk.
Well, my freshman year, we did Bye Bye Birdie, which has telephone time as one of the early songs in the show, which I don't know how other schools do it, but we did this as this massive 3 stories tall set that the kids would be in. It was like cubies that kids would all sit in all over the set. So this thing was, 20 feet tall. And that thing was a nightmare to build, including the fact that somehow one of them got warped between the time we built it and the time we opened the show. So we did this weird configuration of beams and whatnot to straighten it out, and it was never right. So yeah, those were scary times.
Yikes.
We have a Paul Joseph Watson update.
Oh no.
Something else that's also trending now, which shows that shows his reputation precedes him. Or succeeds in whatever, because basically what's happened, no one knows who he is here in Britain. So basically it's journalists being told who this person is. So guess which phrase people are using so often to describe what Paul Joseph Watson is, that it's now number 3 trending behind Paul Joseph Watson and Stay Home, Save Lives.
What is a Paul Joseph Watson, or who is Paul Joseph Watson?
No, it's,
okay. What is he most well known for? Just for the organization that he's associated with.
Well, I was going to say, imagine my shock.
Nope.
No.
Okay. InfoWars?
It's Sandy Hook.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, these people go into journalists like, who's this Paul Joseph Watson? And people are saying, Sandy Hook conspiracy. Oh, okay, I don't need to bother with him then. It's basically the gist of a million conversations right now.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Joe Paulsef Watson, whatever the fuck his name is, has just proclaimed victory over Piers Morgan, proclaiming that Piers Morgan has become cancelled, and he demands thanks from the world.
What? He is having a meltdown. Screen captors.
I like legit. I wonder if he's just like having a speedball and it's just gone real wrong for him.
That would explain a lot more.
That would explain so much. It's like, oh yes, I'm so much more handsome than anyone.
And I'm younger than you.
No, it's not even. No, it would be something much more mundane. He's had too much fucking sugar.
Probably.
Yeah.
Running around like a child with too much sugar.
It was absolutely. He's overdosed on licorice.
Overdosed. So yeah, continue. I mean, when I'm having a Twitter fight, there are times I will just turn off my phone and walk away. Be like, no, I'm going to say something I regret or post something I regret. I'm just going to walk away. And he just can't. So funny.
But he's so young and handsome, Krista. He can't.
All right. So do we have an idea what number 7 might be? I did go ahead to the next question.
All right. Okay. All I can think is holiday.
Anyone else want to agree or offer something else?
I think it's Sunny Days.
Madonna songs.
Yeah, Madonna, Sunny Days.
Or
whatever it is.
Okay. Yeah.
How does it go?
I don't remember. I just remember it. It's got that line of dun 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 dun, that a cappella thing.
I'm not remembering the name. It was holiday. So.
It was holiday. Okay.
Yeah, it is holiday. Right, yeah. Which is kind of misleading because it's Chew icons.
Yeah,
So
exactly. Yeah.
Not really fair. So I understand.
Holiday.
Celebrate.
That's literally the highest my voice has been for 20 years.
All right.
Tick Blue.
I did not get this one, by the way.
Check pond.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Madonna songs.
Like a virgin touch for the very first time.
I don't really know Madonna songs.
Nice and wet. Simple and clean.
Bizarrely, it's Evita.
Yeah, it's the Venga Boys. It turns out Madonna just stole the Venga Boys song.
You guys can keep working on it and just tell me when you want to know the answer.
Come on, chat. Give us a hand here.
Where's the chat? Oh,
True Blue.
True Blue. Oh, I don't know that one.
I'll go, yeah, True Blue. I'll take that.
Paul Mama Sid is correct. It is True Blue.
Ooh.
Well done. That was a tough one. It's from the late mid-90s, I want to say.
Oh, for fuck's sake. This one is Beautiful Stranger.
That must be it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Don't crying emoji for me, Argentina flag.
Yes.
Oh.
Don't cry for me, Argentina. Right.
Did you know the oh fuck's sake, what's it called? The music video for that was her audition for the role.
Which music video?
For that song, and therefore the movie it was associated with.
No.
Well, there you go. Now you do.
Yes, not a lot of people know that. Now you do. Yes. So
that is La Bonita.
Mm-hmm. And I'm glad you sung it. I actually think we should have to sing all of the titles. That would make it better.
You should have to, yes.
Yeah, so you got those right. So there you go.
Yeah.
Hey, yeah, so a quiz. This was fun.
Vogue. Oh, someone said Vogue. That's cool. I don't know which one they were answering, but it is funny.
Yes. So I think what have we been we've been going, well, at least an hour and a half, because that's when Tom dipped. 2 hours and 6 minutes. Oh, I have to scroll up, stupid YouTube interface. Yeah, 151 almost. Yeah, I guess I can take this off now if you guys want to see something else.
Should we do a show tomorrow? We could have this conversation up here, but fuck it. Should we do a show tomorrow?
Yeah, there's plenty of YouTube drama between Paul and Peter.
Paul Joseph Watson being a prick.
Oh, yeah.
Peter Coffin being a prick.
Savoring every tweet.
It's delightful.
Reading the whole thread.
And of course, tomorrow we've got to look forward to, before we do the show, the amazing takedown by the young, beautiful, handsome, totally not triggered at all Paul Joseph Watson.
See how many hours it continues.
The hit piece on Piers Morgan. I mean, it takes a real special twat to make me think, actually, Piers Morgan is the guy I'm rooting for here. Because that guy's fucking trash.
The problem that I've got right now, is Piers Morgan, because of the quarantine and stuff like that, he's coming off as like, people are really like kind of liking him a bit. You know, because he's like recent interviews and shit like that has been like holding government members to account and shit like that, and I'm just kind of
because it's so rare that a British journalist will actually
have a backbone, roast
a politician properly.
And
it used to happen all the time. I remember. I mean, I don't want to be like that old man, but back in my day, Paxman used to do that all the fucking time to people. That was a regular occurrence.
Every weeknight.
Yeah. I mean, he used to roast. Paxman was such a badass. He used to roast the weather forecast, as me and Chris, as Christy showed on the Happy Hour. Yeah. Whereas now it's everyone's sucking Boris Johnson's dick. Whereas Piers Morgan, being the Tory cunt, regardless though, has said, you know, you're mishandling this situation. We've got. Someone pointed out today, we've got less than 1% of the world's population, but we've got nearly 10% of the world's COVID deaths.
Mm-hmm.
That's ridiculous. You know, that's mishandling. That is government manslaughter, basically.
the two worst countries handling have been the United States and the UK.
Yeah, if you elect an idiot who is indifferent to the actual will of the people, it doesn't take you to a good place.
Lathan, did you want to say something about that? Or do you comment on that at all? Did you have any comments on that at all before we go?
Smash the state, fuck the world. Don't bother with Labour right now. Go do some kind of union shit. Have fun. Enjoy your quarantine and see how far you can grow your hair before it like knots into itself and chokes you in your sleep.
Kevin's got a head start because he was in quarantine for before the lockdown. So
yeah, exactly. Yeah, I've been
kind of unfair.
Yeah, and show you my fucking hair. This is absolutely immense. Is it going to? I don't know if it's going to let me put my webcam on. There we go. All right.
Oh shit! You're going to be doing that? Okay, let's do this. Hey.
Oh, we've got a hair off.
A hair off. There we are. I mean, I left this going since like January, and I just had the
very Ace Ventura.
No. Keep going, guys. This is great.
Oh man,
television.
you're Wolverine in it, man.
Oh, look at that. That's fucking ridiculous.
The worst thing is that I usually like shave myself, shave my beard clean.
Shave yourself.
I shave myself, man. It just get rid of it all. I must be.
I shear my fleece.
Shear my. I do that thing from Malcolm in the Middle where they use it to like make birds' nests and shit like that. Chuck it out for the birds.
You do the full back sack and crack, like hairless.
Oh yes, hairless. I must be smooth.
Like a bowling ball.
I was going to go for a billiard table, but bowling ball's good. Yeah.
Yeah.
I go for quantity over quality. You know what I mean.
Well, I was watching the other day a documentary on how to get ahead. It was the first at medieval court, which is really just Richard II, and then how to get ahead of Versailles. And one of the things they talked about was that Louis went bald quite early, and so that not only did he sort of like have a wig that his hairdressers would, dress him with, but he kind of let them make the hair get bigger and bigger, and then you get that really classic sort of Sun King look. And they had the guy who was hosting the show like dress up in the similar period costume, and he said, yeah, when he got the hair on, the height of it all, he said, oh, I feel very regal now. I feel sort of more upright and like I have more power. So yeah, put your hair up, wear that mane. Looks good.
True, but then Marge Simpson would be the most powerful person ever.
That's true.
Oh yes, the other thing that people should know.
The physics of that always puzzled me. How did she get the hair to stay in the air like that?
The one that really weirded me out was episodes where the hair gets damaged and shit, like gunshots and cannonballs and stuff like that, gets shucked through it, and it maintains its shape. It doesn't like get frizzled out. And whenever she gets electrocuted in those Looney Tune episodes, it kind of like just reconforms to itself, doesn't turn into an afro or anything.
Just whoop. Well, I can tell you that in the 1940s, when women wanted sort of like a really high kind of bun, and they couldn't tease their hair enough to make it as high as they wanted to. So what they would do is, over time, when they would comb their hair, they would save the hair that came off, and they put it inside of a stocking, like the tip of a stocking where the foot, toe would go, and then it would fill up, and when it was full, they would then tie it off, and it was called like a rat's nest. And they would part the top layer of the hair and pull it up, and then put the rat's nest underneath it, and then sort of just tuck their hair around it to give it a massive lift.
Okay. I thought you were going to say it was like something about Mary.
No. I'm not Jimmy Carr.
Okay.
I'm glad times have changed.
What do you think is the likelihood is that like his internet is shit and as a result he can't get access to Netflix, so he's got to live with the only like 5 or 6 DVDs that he's got,
I think
which is something about Mary, Fargo, and maybe like Lord of the Rings every now and then or something like
Oliver
that.
Twist, obviously.
Oliver Twist.
Yeah. It's not a breadth of knowledge we're exposed to after 4 weeks. It's kind of like...
No, exactly. He's not exactly broadened our horizons, old James.
And he's not even like going online to do like a sports category just to get outside of his comfort zone. Although I have to say, I do appreciate the effort that goes into going from a Madonna song into images. I mean, I think that takes some effort. It's not just facts, you know.
Well, you say it takes him effort. It takes someone effort.
Yes.
He's probably got writers.
Yes.
Is what I'm.
He might have help now, but especially at the beginning, where you could clearly see that he was like he had like a DSLR that he'd nicked from like
the show
from a BBC studio or something. Like, he just had it in his house because like the sound, like people were like negging on him in the comments and shit like that, being like, "Oh, your sound is bollocks. You've got no makeup. You've got a shiny face that we can see the camera in."
He's got a boom mic that says "property of 8 out of 10 cats."
This is
Please return to Studio 7.
Here's Jimmy. He goes on YouTube. He gives something to the nation and immediately just gets shit on forever.
What did he expect? His whole act is, "I'm going to shit on everyone for everything."
Yeah, fair enough.
So when the tax thing, like, had he been a nice person, the tax thing would have been sort of ignored a little bit. But no, everyone was going to absolutely rinse him for it. Yeah, of course they were.
And like power, like the big thing is that he accepts it. What's his name from Comedy Central? Like the American one.
Americans can't take criticism.
No. They did like an American. It's this thing that's on Comedy Central, and I don't know if it's like British only or it's British American or whatever. But it's a panel show. It's a lot like a panel show, except they roast each other.
Okay.
And it's judged between like, I believe David Walliams is one of the people who is on it. Jimmy Carr is another judge. And then there's a third person, I think that's like revolving. And it's basically like these two people. And every time they run out of like material, they just shit on Jimmy Carr for being a tax dodger. And it's brilliant because he's just kind of like laughing his head off the entire time. Yeah.
No, and to his credit, like you said, he upped his game. He got better lighting. He got better sound. He got somebody in to help him. But
yeah,
that's the thing. Bullying works.
No, that's not the message we want to take away from this.
I am joking.
Of course, yes.
Kevin Francis Logan 2020. Bully everyone. That makes life better.
Exactly. It's a refining process for society.
All right, and on that bombshell.
No, don't end on that fucking bombshell, Jesus. End on something serious.
I was going to give
bullies, please stop. That's bad.
So we got some good life advice. I was going to throw it to Matthew. I don't know if he can top that, but maybe he can do a sidestep to some of his own. What do you want to shout out at the end?
Oh man, no idea.
Wait, it's not your turn, Kevin. Not now, Todd.
Well, I'm wondering how bored Christy is, considering you two have made videos so often that I have a queue of them that I'm probably never going to get to.
Probably not. I've just given up on the podcast. Like, I can't even keep up with our shows and do the intro and do all the text with it. Like, fuck it.
Lazy motherfucker.
Yeah, that's me.
Are you doing it, Kevin?
No.
No, but I specifically said I wasn't going to ever. So.
This is true. I was like, we should do something for the fans. He's like, you can do something for the fans.
Yeah.
I'll encourage you. He did financially support it as well. Like, he had my backing. He split the $15 a month with me. So, but he was never going to do any work.
No, I'm not going to put any effort into it. Good Lord.
How are your editing skills?
I don't think. Do you use Audacity, Kevin?
I don't know.
How do you clean your audio?
With a toothbrush.
Like, how do you remove noise, background noise?
There are basic presets on the editing software that I use, where it gets like you've got options like general background or the outdoor one is good if you film stuff outdoors. And you put that on, it takes away like the wind noise and stuff.
Oh.
Or they just make you sound slightly deeper. It takes your pitch down slightly, which doesn't help for me because I sound like a fucking goat anyway. So I just use that, and it's generally just a background crackle or something like that.
Yeah, background noise, cosmic radiation. Yeah.
Indeed.
Yeah, no, I like hand customize them based on the quality of the recordings. I haven't had to do too much noise reduction in the Hangouts, happily. But anyway, yeah, we've been doing a lot of shows. Our nights are free and our weekends are empty. So.
I've been working my way through movie lists. Like I finished the AFI list quite a while ago, and doing.
Have you watched the classic Bruce Willis and
Red
Malkovich flick Red?
Red? No,
you haven't gotten to that happy hour yet, I guess.
No, you haven't got to that.
No,
Have you seen the Wayans Brothers classic White Chicks?
I've heard about it.
You should. It does some of the most sensitive work around gender and race issues. It's superb.
From the Wayans brothers. Okay.
Yeah, it's very much of its time.
I mean, arguably the two worst films ever put to celluloid film.
No, I think the worst film I actually sat through was what was that crazy thing called? Soul Plane.
Oh, that I don't even know. That I've never even heard of.
Actually, no, another great crap film was one called Faust, and it was about a guy who turns into a werewolf. But that's, if you've got a low budget, don't try and act like a high budget film because it's going to be bad.
Mm-hmm.
The werewolf costume was fucking atrocious. It looked like a 10-year-old had put it together for a school project.
Except it seems like every independent filmmaker always starts with a horror film and then works their way into other stuff. Whereas, like, a drama, you don't need much in the way of special effects. A horror film, you need special effects. I don't know why they do it like that.
I've always thought it'd be really cheap to do films about druggies because there are loads of abandoned buildings.
So the location costs will be nothing?
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
I think you still need permission and legal stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Do you? Who owns
look, as long as you get your sound man and your cameraman to be like Olympic sprinters, you'll be fine.
Yeah, just have all of your lighting like movable. Just have it, wear it on yourself.
Car doors. Just use cars lamp lights.
I've done some guerrilla filmmaking.
The sun exists.
It was in Philadelphia. We needed to shoot a scene on the Philadelphia subway, and there were like the two actors and then 4 crew members who like each independently walk up to the station platform waiting for a train to come through because we wanted to do the scene on a train. And it's just like, okay, I'm holding a microphone on a stick. There's a camera guy there. And one of the director and the producer plus the 2 actors, we're just all nonchalantly just standing there until we hear the train come up. Then we all collectively get together, rush on the train. We timed it out where we could do 2 takes of it. So we did a take of it going away from the city. And then we got off the train, ran to the other platform, did the same thing as we took it going back into the city. It was really interesting. It's like, and hope that no Philadelphia police officers see us doing whatever we were doing.
Like, where's your permit? Oh, I had it, officer.
Mm-hmm.
No, you just do the classic. Oh, here's my permit. Middle finger.
I don't think Philadelphia police officers have a sense of humor.
No.
I disagree. I think they've got a very, very sensitive nose for dry humour.
Come over there and try it out.
Well-rounded young chaps to me, having literally never been anywhere near the place.
All right. Well, this was fun, and thanks, Kevin, for joining as well and doing your part to read out the Jimmy Carr quiz questions. We couldn't have done it without you.
Well, and more importantly, the Paul Joseph Watson madness.
Oh yeah, we would have missed that entirely. And we would
have reading out bits and bobs from annoying white straight men from Britain today. So you're welcome.
It was entertaining. Yeah, and thanks you guys for coming by and spending 2 hours with me. I appreciate it. So yeah, and to everybody in the chat who joined, thanks for participating in the quiz. I hope you guys had a lot of fun. And also bye to Tom if he's still listening or if you decided to watch the end. Maybe he turned off by now.
Maybe working his way through White Chicks again.
Yes, it's his favorite. So I've been Christy. Everyone in the chat's been awesome. People who are watching, in the future, you are awesome too. Goodbye from me and goodbye from my patrons and say goodbye, patrons. Or goodbye, sorry, goodbye peoples, I guess.
Penis.
Wonderful. Matthew, you want to try anything?
Goodbye, peoples.
Oh, at least one person was nice. Okay, bye.